Hey, I'm Pascal from Orangepixel and welcome to another video. And this week's video we're going to talk about my game projects. Actually, where am I with my games? Because games, I'm working on 3 games at once. Crazy, I know. I've been getting a lot of new subscribers in recent weeks and honestly I haven't been talking about my games at all. I almost became one of those YouTube game developers that talks a lot about game development and doesn't seem to be actually doing or releasing games. I'm gonna set the record straight in this video because I have been working on my games a lot. These YouTube videos every week take up maybe 1.5 hours per week, maybe 2 at the worst case if I need to do a little editing. But most of the time it's just a short burst on my Monday afternoon. The rest of the week I'm working on my games. And one of my games is ready to be released later this year. The other game is very far in development and pretty cool. The third game is in prototype stage, figuring out things, but it's already playable and I can show a lot of that. So let's see where I am with these projects after the intro. So the first game that I'm gonna be releasing this year, and actually it's ready to go. It's done. It's right now it's being tested by some of the people on my Discord channel, but those tests have been very well. Recent weeks I got a bunch of good feedback from it. I've been changing, tweaking, fixing and minor little things here, and the game is now solid as can be. It's ready to be released. It's scheduled for a release in June, end of June. It will be part of Steam Next Fest just before that, and maybe a few other things just before that next fest. So there's a couple of things I'm working on. For me it's pretty strange to have a game completely ready to go and not release it yet and just wait for the right time. Usually I've been working on a game and I need to have it sell so that I can actually get money from it, and then I usually just push it out as quickly as possible. But this time I had some time, taking a little risk here because I could have released it in February, March, but I wanted to push it to June just to make sure it's even better, and I have a little bit of extra time to contact streamers and YouTubers and whatever to hopefully push up some awareness of this game. That's a weird sentence. Push up some awareness of this game. Yeah. Now Gaunet of Power is the third game in the Heroes of Loot series. Heroes of Loot, I've released the first game in 2012 or 13, 12 I think. The second one 15 or 16. Both games did pretty well, released on many different platforms. Now we're going to do the third one. It's very different. Originally started as Vampire Survivors, then it turned a little bit more into Binding of Isaac, then it combined those two and it added a little layer of a different interesting weapon system on top, and I'm extremely happy with the result. It might be my most polished and perfected roguelike I've released so far. I think Meganoid held the title of my best roguelike, and that's now gonna go to Gaunet of Power. And there's a lot of room there to improve on the game, but we're gonna do that after release, depending on how the release goes and how many people will buy it and play it. That's the business side of things. I can keep working on a game like this and keep pushing stuff and add more content and things, but it also needs to sell so I can actually make some money. So if it does very well, we're going to be pushing updates to it, and there's so much room for improvements, more items, more weapons, more areas, different areas, secret areas, more room types. There are bonus rooms, there are treasure rooms, there's a lot of stuff. There's so much we can build on. Now the Switch version is also being worked on by Serious Lion on the Discord. So that should also be happening pretty soon after the PC version. Again, depending on feedback from players, and if we push a lot of updates, those updates will then also probably be on the Switch version at launch time. That just makes more sense than to keep pushing updates to Switch, because it's very difficult to push all these updates because Nintendo has to test them. There has to be a 30 or 2 weeks delay between pushing it and releasing it. There's so much stuff going on there. We prefer to just have the best, the biggest version available at launch. So that's gonna happen, and of course Atari VCS will follow, and if we can finally get something going on PlayStation and Xbox, we'll also push it there, but not sure yet. Anyway, I'm excited about Gaunet of Power. That's the first game. We're gonna release it in June and it's all ready to go. That brings me to the big project, the one I started after my last release, Residual, in 2021, and it's now 2024. I know, I became that guy who's been working on a project for many years. and I shouldn't be doing that. Now, a couple of side notes for all the new subscribers. Regulator City got funding from Mid-Game Fund, a Dutch funding company, last year, February. So that helped me push more content and tweak the game and improve the game a lot, because the game was in development hell. It wasn't clear what it was supposed to be or where I was going with it. And I'm still tweaking things here and there, but the base, the core of the game, it's completely solid. It's playable. It's a lot of fun. I just have so much stuff I want to add to this and improve on it in every aspect. It's a bit of a passion project for me, but it's gonna be released, and aiming for Q4, so that's the last couple of months of this year on PC. But who knows, if Gaunet of Power does very well, we might actually push some stuff to 2025. Spending more time on the game can, in theory, or should in theory, always improve that game. But right now the game is so big, there's so much content there, where Gaunet of Power is my best roguelike. I'm pretty sure Regulator City is my biggest title ever. There's so many little things going on. We have your squad running around with you, helping you, aiding you, taking out enemies. We have all these little mini task game things happening. We have so many different missions. We have so many different levels. There's different weapons. There are different things you can operate. You can turn off lights to cause confusion amongst the enemies, and then your team will actually slit their throat with knives, and all this stuff is happening automatically, real-time, arcadey, and I don't think that has been done before, but I also know that that's not gonna be the thing that helps me market the game. So I also need to find out how I can actually properly market this game, because there are too many team-based shooters and things out there that this isn't attracting players, and I need to make sure that players understand that this is pretty unique experience. But we'll have a couple of months yet left to figure all that out, so I'll keep pushing Regulator City. Currently working on it. Last week been pushing a bunch of little interesting things. Something very simple was pushed last week, or simple option but difficult to implement, aim assist. Especially when you're playing with the mouse and a lot of stuff is happening on screen. It's very hard to target the exact enemy for many players, at least. Not for everybody, but for a lot of players that's very difficult. Now we have aim assist that will actually steer your bullets. If you're pointing at the right area, it will actually help you make sure you hit that enemy. So that helps a lot playing the game, because it's a fast game and a lot of people will need this. It's going to be turned on automatically as a default preference, but you can always turn it off if you want that extra challenge. But a lot of little things and tweaks and improvements like that have been happening under the hood. You don't really see them as a gamer, but they are happening and they are there. And a lot of times in games, these things just don't get the polish and attention they need, or especially in my games, because we have to develop these games quickly in order to make money. So, but now I had all this extra time to work on it, so it's just been improving week after week, and it's interesting to see. So that's Regulator City, and that leaves me with one more project, Space Grunt 3. This game is still in a prototype stage. I'm still tweaking and changing and trying things, but it's actually getting a little bit playable already. I've added a map, added enemies, added different type of enemies. The turn-based stuff is all, or the logic for that is all happening and working. And I'm now trying to figure out if we can do some sort of timed event. So you get like an X amount of turns. If those amount of turns run out, something is happening that you prefer to be not around or stop it before it happens, but most of the time you're gonna be failing and you just want to set up yourself to make sure you have cover and you can handle whatever is coming. I haven't decided what's coming yet. There is gonna be a hypergate, it's open. This has been the problem in many of my games. The hypergate is open, ooze is coming through it, and that's causing a lot of problems. In this game, the timer is probably gonna be the thing indicating when that hypergate, or when life forms are coming through the hypergate. Try to close it before then if you can. Extremely well done, but you probably can't, so make sure you have cover or you have things set up so that once the ooze starts crawling into the space base or space station or spaceship or whatever it is, at that point you better be prepared. Now this sounds cool, but I haven't really figured out how or what or exact details. I'm just prototyping this, I'm just trying stuff, throwing it in there. If I'm failing, if I'm not getting this stuff right, I'm just gonna go and make a turn-based roguelike, like the original Space Grunts, just newer, better, improved, and that's gonna be a great game. but I want something different, something a little twisty, something like a hook. So I'm working on that first while I'm slowly adding all the other stuff that has to be added. Create different creature types, different weapon types, all the usual stuff, pick up items and things like that. Those are pretty easy to implement. I can grab a lot of inspiration from the original Space Grunts and the sequel. So that's gonna be fine. Let's see if we can add a hook to it, but also try to keep a short development cycle. Preferably, this game is gonna be close to done at the end of the year. Now this is gonna be very difficult, I know, because we're already in April, and I know months are gonna fly by. But if I can get it very close to release, it could be the first release in 2025, early in the year. And that's just great for my business because it means money's coming in early in the year, leaving some extra room for the rest of the year. So yeah, I've been rambling a lot, but a lot of projects on my plate, and I'm very excited about all these 3 games. Even worse, I have ideas for the next couple of games, and I have an idea for Gunslugs, which I might be doing and partnering up with Haragoshi on the Discord, Nathan. We have been working or trying another project that kind of faded out because, well, we both had a lot of stuff going on at the time, but also wasn't feeling it. And maybe we can create something simple like Gunslugs, work together, get into that flow of working together as well, and see how that actually works without making the game project difficult, because it's already going to be difficult working together. So let's see if we can make that happen. If that doesn't happen, I might just do it on my own. I also want a new Ash world. There's a couple of games I just want to create new titles for, or new versions. So yeah, lots of ideas, lots of energy working on these games. 1 almost done, 2nd is very well in development, 3rd is well on its way to be a good prototype or base for a game. So I have been working on my games. For those that are wondering if I just do YouTube, no, I've been working on my games a lot. I'm also going to end the video here because I want to get back to work. So thanks for watching the video. Like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you next week. If you have questions, Discord, comments, whatever, I'll see you next week. I already said that. Yeah, bye.